Hi everyone, this is Sherry. I wanted to go over this document with you that I created so that you could get the most out of this. So in this first part, this is what I like to call the cycle. We cycle through our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, back to thoughts, and so on, and we just keep going into this loop right here. And this actually supports an underlying limiting belief. Sometimes we're not aware of what that is. And most of the time we're not aware of what that is. So we have to figure out what that is. So if you go scroll down a little bit, it talks about uncovering that limiting belief. It's really started with the language. I can't start a business because why? And a lot of times I hear a client say, well, I don't have enough money or I don't have enough time. And underneath that is the belief that they're not enough. So they continually find thoughts that support that they're not enough. So that's why it's important to start to study your thoughts, be aware of what they are, so that you can start tackling that limiting belief. And being aware of that limiting belief is a big part of this battle. So let's say that you're like, well, I have a hard time even knowing what I'm thinking. And sometimes I just feel like thoughts are all over the place. Well, that means that you've got to settle your brain down, settle your mind down. And a good way to do that is meditation, just so that you can sit and just start to be aware of your thoughts. You don't actually have to have an attachment to the thought. So, if you're interested in meditation, there is a meditation that was attached to this lesson, so you can feel free to check that out. It's totally free to do that. And then if you scroll down here a little bit more, I have attached cognitive distortions, and that's different types of thinking and the way that we think. My favorite one is mind reading. I think that I know what people are thinking, and it gets me in trouble sometimes because I tend to go to they're thinking something bad about me, right? It's really actually me thinking something bad about myself, and I'm projecting that onto someone else. So these thoughts can really get us into some trouble, and take us down into sadness or anger or whatever our go-to emotional habit is. If you scroll down even further, this feelings wheel I really like because it gets down underneath to what you're really feeling. Sometimes we don't really know. We might think we know. However, if I say something like I'm weak, what does that really mean? So getting down underneath that, that's more of a fear of being scared. And so, we typically have some go-to emotions, which are sadness or anger. And the good news is you can have good ones. You can have powerful, you can have joyful, happiness. Those are all good feeling emotions. So the idea about feelings is that, again, it's okay to feel them. And also, if you're in a not good feeling emotion, that's actually taking you away from spirit. We want to get you back towards spirit and actually back into your heart space. And it would be a good idea to actually find a better feeling emotion and not to camp out in sadness, for example. So in this chart, you could look and see, okay, what would be a better feeling that I could grab for besides sadness? So you could say, well, I'm lonely. Okay, well that's a little bit better. It's not as a bad feeling as sadness. So we're getting a little bit better. And then you can reach for another one besides lonely. So it could be sleepy, or it could be, I'm just kind of apathetic. I don't really feeling anything anyway, either way, which that's a better feeling emotion. And then you just continue to do that. And that's actually done with your thoughts. So, what evidence are you supporting to make that makes you sad? That, you guys, is a whole nother lesson. So if you get stuck on any part of this, I do want to point out that you can feel free to actually sign up for the free 30-minute coaching session, and I'd be happy to walk you through any part of this, or if you have any questions about anything I've said. And again, like the better feeling emotions and getting to the better feeling is a whole nother section or lesson. And I actually will be putting something in that nature together, so look out for that. And then in the next attachment, I really like this too because this really does help change your brain pattern if you do this work here, this log. So for example, in this first part it says friend cancel lunch plans. So my thought is she's probably mad, and the evidence is that she never cancels. So we want to really look at, okay, well, what is really true? Because these thoughts have contributed to me feeling bad. Now I'm sad. Now I'm isolating. So now I have these behaviors that I don't know why I have. Sometimes we skip over the emotion and go right to a behavior. And so that's why that loop, the cycle chart at the beginning is really important to look at. It's like, okay, well, where am I at? What do I need to look at? So in this example, the replacement positive thought, it's unlike my friend to cancel, so she may be busy or not feeling well. So that actually, takes that negative thought and replaces it with a better one. And you can just keep going down this log. And I usually tell clients to actually take something that's happened in the past that you don't have a whole lot of energy on and practice, because it gets easier. Because then you can go, oh, well, you know, I made up this story that she was really angry at me and she really wasn't. There wasn't anything going on. She just had some other thing going on or whatever. And then you can start looking at that evidence, which I think is really important to do. So that's it for the document. So again, like I said earlier, if you struggle with any of this or it's confusing or anything like that, please feel free to reach out, and you can sign up for that 30-minute counseling coaching session. I'd be happy to go over this or anything else that you have questions with. Okay, thank you very much.